Hello guys. All right. Okay, fine. Let's just start the session. Um, first of all, um, anybody has any question on the first session, like any doubt, any question regarding the syllabus, regarding what we have discussed yesterday?
I have a question on the difference between the data factory and data bricks. Is there anything that we can't do in data bricks, but only in data factory?
Is there anything which you can do in
I mean, a data factory we use for the migration and data transformations, right? So the same thing we can do in data bricks also, correct?
um, so suppose in Databricks, if you want to do anything, you need to write Python code or a PySpark code over there. Okay. So suppose in data factory, like if I open data factory, like suppose you want to copy the data. Okay. So it has all of these connectors. For example, like if you want to connect to a Amazon RDS for Oracle, Amazon Redshift, Amazon S3 bucket, Apache, Impala, Blob, Cosmo DB, or whatever it is, you can create a connection and then directly connect to the servers without any, like, it has a direct connector, so you can directly see what is present in that system through these connectors. But in Databricks you'll not see this kind of a connector presence. Okay, so suppose if I go to Databricks, it doesn't have a connector who can directly connect to that system and then show you the data which is present. You need to always and always write your Python code or a PySpark code to, like PySpark or a Scala code to, um, like it doesn't have a connector. So you always need to do everything using code. Okay, but here you have connectors present. And at the same time, if you want to do something like some sort of, and for everything, for example, if I want to get a metadata, like if you want to do some sort of a lookup, right? Lookup to do the migration. So it is data factory, it's been designed from the migration perspective. So whenever you do the migration, you kind of look for the metadata, you have a lookup table, you do the copy data. And when you're copying the data as well, there are many, suppose if I am doing a copy, then also there are different settings. For example, like you can do recursive copy, you can do, and for in Databricks, it's very difficult to do all of this. Reason being that it's not designed from the migration perspective. So if you want to do anything in Databricks, you always and always need to write a PySpark or some sort of a code you need to write to achieve your target. And Databricks is mainly designed for the data transformation so that you can transform the data rather than the migration perspective. Okay, is it clear for you? Let's ask ChatGPT as well. What you can do in data factory which you cannot do in Databricks. Okay, so suppose here it's telling the same thing over here. If you see data factory ADF has a connect to orchestrate 90 sources, right? So it has a direct connector. This is what it is showing. And it's no code, low code data movement. ADF copy data activity moves the data source to sync serverless, no cluster setup and all of that. Integration runtime, it's same like integration runtime is basically just used to connect. So when you connect to this sources, you use integration runtime. This is what it's telling you. ADF supports event-based tumbling window schedule time trigger. This is written in chat GPT, but ideally the triggers are not a problem because in Databricks as well, you can create a data flow and then you can set up a trigger. So that should not be a problem, right? This you can do in Databricks as well. Now parameterization, built-in monitoring, history, event log, and all of that. This you can do in Databricks as well through some method, right? Manage data movement cost at ADF billing happens on ADF run. So I think these are two main points. Okay, these two first two are main points, and all of this can be also achieved in Databricks in some ways. Okay, is it clear for you?
Yes, what does the orchestration mean exactly in ADF?
Orchestration means suppose, uh, and the question which you asked is very good, important interview question, guys. So suppose if somebody like, if I have given like 100 interview, probably in 20, 30 interview, somebody can ask you this question. Okay. So, what does orchestration means? That's also a good question. Let me tell you what does this mean. Okay, let me open this diagram which I was explaining yesterday. Suppose you got this task to move the data from all of these sources and then move to Azure, move all this data. Guys, please mute yourself. So you got a task to move all the data from different sources to Oracle, sorry, to cloud storage, right? Data lake. And then from data lake as well, you need to basically move the data to the SQL server as well. Okay. Suppose you got this task only that, hey, you need to just move the data to data lake, and then from data lake as well, you need to move the data to the SQL server. And then from the SQL server, you will do some transformation in the SQL server, and for that you return some stored procedure, right? For the transformation. Forget about Databricks for now. So you got a simple task that, hey, you need to move the data from here to here, data lake, and then from here you need to move the data to the SQL server. So for example, you designed the architecture like this. Like you designed the architecture like this. Hey, source is there. I will first move the data to the data lake, and then from the data lake, I will move the data to the SQL server. Okay, this I will do. Forget about this for now. Okay, and then I will connect Power BI. Okay, so now, like you will design a pipeline for this, right? Hey, like daily at 9 p.m., my data should come from the all the sources to data lake, and from data lake it should also come to Snap server, and then my transformation should happen. So you understood this, and then you basically like started developing the pipeline for that, right? So you understood this, and then you said that, hey, let's design the pipeline for this. So you put a copy data activity, you put another copy data activity, you put another copy data activity. I'm just giving you an example. Don't consider that this will look like this, right? But this is just a simple way of what I'm saying. And then suppose here you move the data to source to, sorry, source is SharePoint to data lake, for example. This is SharePoint to data lake. This is Oracle to data lake. This is, suppose this is your SQL server to data lake, or like, let me write something else. This is SAP HANA to data lake. Okay, and then you basically done all this copy data activity, and then you basically once this data is moved to data lake, you are moving all of this data to SQL Server, like data lake to SQL Server. Okay, and then you are writing some stored procedure for transformation, right? So now this is the like orchestration is nothing but the design of end-to-end flow. Like, hey, if I trigger this at 9 p.m. daily, then my all the data will be moved to data lake, and then from data lake it will be also moved to SQL Server, and my stored procedure will also run, and then everything can be achieved. So orchestration is nothing but your end-to-end pipeline which you are trying to make to achieve what you want. Okay, that is what the orchestration means. Is it clear for you?
Yes, Abhishek.
Okay. Anybody has any question, guys? Okay, fine. If there's no question, let's try to move ahead now. Okay. So what we have learned yesterday is, okay. So first we went through the syllabus, then we understood what is data engineering, then we understood what are the different roles in the cloud. So in the syllabus, we basically understood that in 2 months we will learn about Azure data engineering for 2 months, okay? And Azure data engineering means we will learn about data factory, data, Synapse Analytics, Fabric, Databricks, Key Vault, um, Logic App, and then we will do two projects, right? The main focus is data factory. So in coming 2025 class, we will not speak anything beside data factory. Okay, so we will just speak about this. Okay. So suppose from today onwards, we will just try to learn about data factory itself, right? So that would be main focus for us. Okay. And then we will, after that, for another 2 months, we'll learn about Databricks and Spark, in which we'll focus mainly on Databricks and Spark only. Okay. Then we learned about what are the different roles present in cloud. So suppose in cloud, whenever any project starts, so for example, if Walmart wants to move the data from SharePoint, Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL to data lake and then to SQL Server, right? Why they want to do it? Because they want to create a centralized location to store all their data. And then they don't want to use this legacy system like Oracle or MS SQL. They don't want to use. So they want to migrate to data lake, right? That is what they want to do so that they can report all of this KPI like gross sales, product of the day, sales of the day, all of that. So they will come and then they will report this to some consultancy firm. And then you need in a project, you need a uh, product owner who will listen to the requirement, solution architect or a cloud architect who will design the requirement, Azure admin will deploy the resources, data engineer will develop the pipeline, data analyst and data scientist will understand the business requirement and fulfill that. Data engineer will provide the data to these guys, right? DevOps engineer will deploy the resources from one environment to another environment. And there would be the manager who will manage all of these people, right? Their timesheets calculation, their leaves, or they don't like this person, that person, or they want to just move to different team, or some clashes are happening. All of that manager will look into. So there will be a manager as well, which I haven't written here. Okay. Uh, all right. So now, today what we will do? Today we will try to um, understand. Okay. So let me also try to okay. So suppose in coming classes, our main focus would be this, right? Like this project. Okay. So now, let's take a step back. Okay. So first of all, to implement this, what are the things we need? Okay. So first of all, we need the understanding of what we are doing here. Okay. So the understanding what we are doing here, right? First of all. And then we basically after that we need, okay. So first of all, we need to understand like what is this project, right? That we need to understand. So I will write one by one. Then what I need to understand is like, hey, what is this cloud? If I want to implement this, what is the cloud, right? What is cloud? I don't know what cloud. Can you explain me what is cloud? Okay, so we'll understand what is cloud. Then to implement this, we need to have a Azure subscription so that we can implement it. So we'll understand what is how to get Azure subscription. Then we will understand that, hey, to implement this, we need some, first of all, data factory, right? We need data lake. We need like some sort of a source so that at least this part can be implemented. Then we will think about all of this other part, right? So we need data factory. We need blob storage. We need source and premise so that we can just implement this, right? So we will first then understand how to get a data lake, data factory. What is data factory and how to get a data factory? Then data lake and how to get a data lake. What is data lake and how to deploy data lake. Then what are the different source we will use? Okay. So we won't be able to learn all of this today because it takes time to learn all of this, right? But we'll try to complete till here. Okay. And then all of this we will probably learn tomorrow or Monday. Okay. All right. So first of all, understanding of this project, right? So let's leave Databricks for now. Okay, so just try to understand till here and then, sorry, let's leave Databricks and then let's try to understand if you want to move the data from here to Blob and from Blob to Synapse Server, why you're doing it. So you are doing it because of, so guys, in among my 8 years career, right, 8 to 9 year career, the most common use case, the most common use case is generally like I have done a retail, I have worked in retail company as well. I have worked in supply chain as well. I have worked in healthcare as well. I have worked in different use cases. Okay. Now, the most common use case is all the business has the data located in different system because it is a company, right? It is a big company. So ideally, and it is running from like 10 to 20 years now, right? So always and always a company has a data present in different location, always in different location. It's not like they have a centralized like Oracle database in which they are storing all the data. Like I never seen that. Okay, so suppose every company uses multiple data sources always, right? So they will probably use some sort of SharePoint, Oracle, MS SQL, MySQL. Sometimes they use this. There will be always a SQL server for like 100%. So I haven't seen any company who doesn't use a SQL server. So always and always there will be a SQL server, right? Either a Oracle SQL server or a MS SQL server or a MySQL server, whatever it is. But there will be always a SQL server, right? So this is very common. And then probably nowadays people are in all the company, they are trying to just use the SAP system because it's standard, right? So it can be like, hey, there some data is there in SAP, some data in SQL, some data in Oracle, right? But the common use case is I want to always move the data from different source system to Azure cloud or some sort of a cloud, right? Why I want to move it? Because like there are advantage of cloud, which I will explain in some like minute. So all the company want to migrate the data to the cloud because of advantage of it, right? And then why they want to move the data? What is the benefit they are getting to move the data to the cloud? Because it's like easy to collaborate, easy to maintain, all of that. And also, the second thing is they will have a centralized place to analyze the data, right? Suppose if they have the different, like all the data distributed in different systems, how they will understand total sales? They cannot understand total sales until and unless they have a centralized place to report, right? So they want to migrate all the data from different locations so that they can report the KPI. They can understand total sales, gross, like top customer, or all of that, right? So the common use case, if you ask me, among 8 to 9 years, what is the most common use case you have worked, Abhishek? So I will tell you, the most common use case which I have worked is I always try to move the data from different location to cloud storage so that I can have a centralized place of all my data, right? So that I can report my KPI. That is, the KPI means like key parameter indicator which can understand how your business is performing. Okay, so this is the most common use case. Move data from different source to data lake, or Azure cloud, so that we have. So the analysis can be predictive or descriptive. For example, like you want to do the analysis, you want to understand future sales. So it is a predictive analytics. You want to predict the future. Descriptive is you want to understand what is there right now, which is like total sales right now, right? So you can do descriptive or predictive analytics. This is the most common use case, okay? And then the second use case is which I have worked is company want to, and this is not migration. Migration means you want to move everything, but this is not migration. You are just moving the data which you want to analyze. For example, I want to analyze sales, then only I will move sales, right? I will not move any other data, like real estate data, I will not move, right? I will just want to understand sales. So I will just move the data what I need for the analysis, right? I will not move any sort of a random data which I don't need for the analysis. So here you just move the data which you need for the analysis. But if company wants to migrate, then you move everything because they don't want to use the legacy system. Use legacy system or system itself is getting degraded. Okay, and then suppose it can happen that they don't want to use SharePoint location no longer, right? They don't want to use MySQL server, right? So company wants to migrate everything. So these are the two most common use case, right? And now, whenever you want to move the data from different location to Azure Data Lake, we have data factory who can do the job. Okay, so if you want to move the data, so now no matter if there's a healthcare or retail or supply chain, you want to move. So you need to have a data factory, right? Uh, and data factory is generally recommended, and then it is a batch. Like, let me also tell you. So here, what you're trying to do, you are trying to using data factory, You will not load the data every second, every minute. You will not load the data using Data Factory, right? You will load the data using Data Factory like 1 day of data or 2 day of data or every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. That kind of a load you can do using Data Factory. So Data Factory doesn't handle the streaming data. Okay. So the use case, this use case is basically a batch load. What does it mean? What is the difference between stream load and batch load? Stream load is basically every second data is coming, right? Suppose you're working a healthcare domain and like there are many patients, right? Now you need to have a tracking system to measure blood pressure, for example. So blood pressure is so critical that if it goes high or it goes low, you need to report it then and there, right? Or suppose you're working in a banking domain and then if you go to some sort of a bank to deposit money or withdraw money, you want to you see that deposit in your application, mobile application then and there, right? You don't want to wait for 1 day or 2 day to see that transaction. So that is a real near real time reporting. And if you want to do near real time reporting, that you cannot achieve using Data Factory. Okay. So what you can achieve using Data Factory is, suppose you're working in a retail chain. For example, you're working for Walmart, and in Walmart, like they don't want to understand what is sales every second, right? They don't care every sales what they will do by just understanding every second sales, right? It's not like so useful. But they don't definitely want to understand what was the sales yesterday, that they want to understand, right? Um, so in Data Factory, we will be doing a batch load. Batch load means not like not near real time load, right? Not real time. This will be doing. So here you can see. So we will have a different source system. We are moving data to the data lake, and then from data lake, we are moving the data to the SQL server, right? So from source, data lake, and data lake to SQL server. Why? Because we want to connect to the Power BI to do the reporting. Okay. So this is the most common use case, and this is what we are targeting to learn first. Okay. And now we will try to understand what is cloud after that. Anybody has any question on what I have said?
Abhishek, then what about the real-time streaming? If we want to lift and shift the data in real time, then which tool we are using?
We will use Event Hub and Databricks. We will use Databricks and also Event Hub as the inside. The architecture of that is different.
Okay, in Databricks, we can orchestrate the things, right?
Yeah, you can orchestrate the things in Databricks.
Okay, done.
So
Okay.
Abhishek, why are we using like a two-step process? Can you go back to that other diagram? You want to store it to the data lake and then, yeah, so you have like a middleman layer, right?
Hmm.
Is it used for transformation or what is
It is
it
a
used for?
staging layer.
Oh, just a staging. Okay.
It's staging layer. So suppose in SQL Server or a warehouse, you will not keep the history of the load. Okay. Like suppose everyday data, what are the changes happening or what are the different uh, um, like everyday load, you'll not store in Synapse server. In blob storage, you will store all the history of the data. And at the same time in Synapse, you can only and only store your this is a SQL server. You can just store the structured data there. But suppose
Okay.
if you're getting some sort of a say JSON file, XML file, or different file format, you can store in data lake. You can transform using Databricks, again write it back and then move to Synapse. So here you can store any kind of a data. That is why there are two main reasons for this. It is a staging layer first of all, And then here you maintain all the history of the data. And then second reason is in blob storage, you can store any kind of a data. Then you can transform using Databricks, write it back, and then move to Synapse. That also you can do. And if you're using actual Synapse server, then you can do some Spark processing in Synapse as well. And then you can, this is, yeah, so this is a staging layer. So these are the two main reasons why you're using the here.
Okay, thanks.
Synapse here is like transforming the data. Or
No, here the Synapse is simple Synapse server. But if you're using Azure Synapse, there you can transform data as well. Here it has been used only for as a server, like a Synapse dedicated pool. So this is a Synapse. So Synapse, so just the people who don't know about Synapse. So suppose Synapse in 2018-19 was Synapse only SQL server. In Synapse, you can just store the data. It was a SQL warehouse, right? Then slowly they added some more feature that hey, you can Synapse and you can develop pipeline. You can just like do some Spark processing and all of that they develop. So in Synapse server, you can ideally do other things as well, right? You can create a pipeline. You can just like um, run a Spark pool, right? And then they developed Fabric. So nowadays they are not like promoting Synapse. Now they are developing like promoting Fabric, in which it is a SaaS solution. You can do everything there, right? So yeah, so just to answer your question, but here the purpose of Synapse is just to like store the data in the SQL format. We are not doing anything of like pipeline creation of the all of that, but you can do that. Okay, you can run your Spark code in Synapse, all of that you can do. But here you can imagine it's a only SQL server. That's all.
so so basically we can say that the different type of data are being transformed into a SQL. So basically structured data in Synapse.
Yeah, so here there will be only structured data stored. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Anybody has any question? Okay, fine. Let's move ahead then. Uh, so I went through this when I was taking the demo as well, but I just trying to like rewind. So why we need to move the data to cloud? Okay, why it's important to move the data to the cloud? Because you can just understand in a very simple pen drive example, which I always give. I used to use a pen drive, but now I no longer use pen drives, DVDs, CDs, or like hard disk and all of that. Why I don't use it? Because if I'm using a pen drive, and if somebody wants my pen drive, I need to go to them, hand over the pen drive, and then I need to go to them and hand over the hard disk, right? So it's difficult to collaborate, difficult to share the data. If my pen drive is lost, I need to, like, I will miss all of the data, right? So data loss and recovery, I need to handle. And if my pen drive is full, I need to go to the market, purchase a new pen drive. Upgrade is very difficult. Difficult to collaborate, difficult to upgrade, data loss and recovery. And if I want to purchase, like if I have TVs of data is coming daily, so I need to go to the market, purchases, implementation is also very so I'm just speaking about pen drives. But if you want to do everything in the cloud, the implementation is also very difficult. Okay, you need to maintain it as well. The scalability is a challenge, right? So because of all of these challenges, every individual is moving to the cloud. I don't have a pen drive, right? It has been ages, like I don't use pen drive and all of that. So now we are just using cloud. If you see, all of us are also using cloud. Our WhatsApp are getting their daily like backed up in the cloud. Everything is in the cloud nowadays because of all of this advantage. So all the companies are also moving their data to the cloud because of all of these advantages. Okay. Now what is cloud? Cloud is nothing but you are not using your computer, you are using someone else's computer, you're paying for it. As simple as that. Okay. So suppose you are using Microsoft computer, you're paying for it. You can just imagine this as an example of, hey, you have a some sort of a internet cafe where you go and then you use their computer, you pay 20 rupees an hour, and then you use their computer, right? In their computer, you have some software installed and then you can use it. So suppose in cloud as well, you're trying to do that itself, right? So you're trying to use a remote servers which is present in different locations, and then you are you are using those servers and then you're paying for it, right? Hey, I want to use your server, and then Microsoft will tell you, hey, you are using this server for for 5 hours, these are the charges. You are running this cluster for 10 hours, this is the charges, because they need to maintain this server somewhere in their location, so there are charges for that, right? And Microsoft has a data centers across the globe, and all the data centers are connected. uh, why it is getting stuck now? 1 second. So they have all of these data centers, right? Like in India, they have the data center in West India, Central India, South India, UAE, North, South Africa. No, here also they have the data center across different locations, right? They have all this data center at different locations so that the the people can store the data in different locations, use it, deploy it, all of that they can do. Okay. Now I have one question which I want to ask you guys. Why they don't have the data center at one location or two location or three location? Why they need all this data center at many location? Can anybody answer this question? Why Microsoft can say that, hey, I will just open one data center in India, one in US, one in Europe, my job is done. Why they
Yeah,
have so many data center?
For the
basic
fault tolerance.
And
low latency basically. Uh, as the region is more close to the users to a specific region, they will able to get the low latency capability, which are major requirement in like in Power BI also if we have to build. That's why any dashboard, so we need our data to be retrieved fast.
and
If any loss in data, we can be recovered from the another one if it is synced.
yeah, and the like one more,
Natural
yeah. So
disaster,
yeah, go ahead.
natural disaster can also be the reason.
Hmm. And then suppose movement as well. For example, like you guys have covered all this, right? But like there's one more reason. For example, like I am present in central location over here in Madhya Pradesh. I'm present, and then if I use this server and move the data over here, it would be cheaper for me rather than moving data over here. So I can just store my data over here. I can move to the cloud. So like I can deploy my resources in central India, move all the data from Madhya Pradesh to central India, which is nearby server, rather than moving the data over here because it will be costly. Okay, so that also is a reason. Okay, so yeah, so this is why they have the data center, low latency, disaster recovery, right, and then availability of the data quicker. So that is why they have the different location, and then you can deploy your resources to all of these locations. Okay, all right. Now cloud computing itself has two model, deployment model and service model. Okay, in deployment model, we have three kinds of a cloud: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. In service model, we have three kinds of a service: IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. Okay. In deployment model, public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, what does it mean? Let's try to understand this. So now guys, in 5 to 10 minutes, whatever I will speak, like in real time, 8 to 9 years of career, in none of the company, I so suppose IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS is very common, but public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, rarely. Sometime you need to think about it, like out of the blue. So it's not so important for real time job. because nobody will ask you, hey, whether I should go for a public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. It is taken care by management, right? But this is helpful when you are giving some AZ 900 exam, for example, right? You are going for AZ 900 exam, you're going for Azure fundamental, then probably this question can be asked. But like this is not useful in real time world, and neither it is useful for the interview. Nobody asked me like in my career that, hey, tell me what is public cloud, private cloud, right? Like rarely somebody will ask you, right? So this is not important from the interview perspective, neither it's important from the real-time job perspective. It's important from AZ 900 perspective, right? So let's try to understand this, okay? So what is public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud? So we have seen Microsoft data center. Yeah, somebody is saying something. Okay. So we have seen the Microsoft data center different locations, okay? Now suppose Abhishek, like me as or TCS, right? TCS or this company came to Microsoft and say that, hey, we need some resources, right? And then suppose like Walmart also came. So all of this company came to Microsoft and they say that, hey, we need some resources, right? So we have seen that Microsoft has a data center on all of this location, right? So if TCS will come and say that we need to deploy in some resources in central India, they will say that, okay, deploy. They will say that, hey, Capgemini needs some resources in central India. They say that, yeah, okay, deploy. Walmart will come and say that, hey, I need to deploy some location in central India. They will say, okay, I deploy, right? So now, like they have a data center in central India. Yes, guys, please mute yourself. If you have any question, you are free to unmute, but please mute yourself, okay? So like TCS, Capgemini, Walmart, all of these guys will come to Microsoft and then they say that we want to deploy some resources. So they will come and then deploy can any location and then deploy it, right? So now they are deploying in Microsoft managed location, right? So these are the managed locations of Microsoft in which they can deploy the resources, right? Now when they're deploying, their data is secure, their data is like easy to available and all of that, right? So that they're doing, right? So it is you're using a public cloud setup. Public cloud means the locations which you are using, it's available for all, and then everybody can deploy the resources over there, right? It is a public cloud setup. Now, suppose SDFC came, okay, or Capgemini itself. Sorry, suppose SDFC came, okay. Now SDFC said that, hey, we have like our own data center, right? We have our own data center. Okay. And then like what we want to do, we want to internally use cloud. For example, like we want to internally use the different resources, right? Or we have a like a intra ID, a Microsoft intra ID, which we are using from 20 to 30 years now, and we don't want to move all the customer in sorry our employee information in cloud intra ID. We just want to use our data center, okay? And then internally we want to use cloud as well, right? So suppose they will say that we don't want to use all of this location, but rather than that we have the location somewhere here, right? And then what we want is we want Microsoft services. So can you guys come and deploy all these resources to our data center so that we can use the cloud, right? Then it's a private cloud setup. Like Microsoft will come here and deploy the resources to over here, right? So that is what they will do, so that internally they can collaborate, they can share the data internally, they can do all of that, but they cannot do it like okay, anyways, you don't want to among the organization, you want to share it, but like internally they can use everything. So you suppose when you're using a private cloud setup as well, then also you'll not feel that you're using a private cloud setup, because from this UI perspective or anything will not change, right? Everything will be same, but like you will be using a private cloud setup in which Microsoft will come to your premise and then deploy all the resources, right? Hybrid cloud is nothing but mix of both. Suppose some of the services you are using a private cloud setup, some of the services you are using as a public cloud setup, that is a hybrid cloud setup. Most of the company uses a hybrid cloud setup itself. Why? Because this intra ID, right? Intra ID, or suppose custom like employee, the company has like employee information which is they're storing from ages, right? Then like they don't want to migrate everything to cloud, reason being that it's a critical information for the company, right? So now and then always and always it happens that all the company has some sort of a resources which they don't want to move all in cloud at once, so they want to keep their old setup as well, so that it's they can rely on something. So every company uses a kind of a hybrid cloud setup in which you have some of the resources which is publicly deployed, some of the resources on deployed in your premise, and Microsoft help to do that. So they uses a hybrid cloud setup. Most of the companies uses a hybrid cloud setup. But you have three kinds of a cloud: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. Public cloud is nothing but you're using all the data center given by Microsoft. Private cloud is you are asking Microsoft to deploy their resources in your own premise, in your own data center. Hybrid cloud is mix of both. Okay. Anybody has any confusion on this? Okay. All right. Let's move ahead then. So now you have another model which is service model, IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS, right? So IaaS is nothing but you're just getting a virtual machine. Suppose if you want to deploy, you want just computer, so you will get a virtual machine, right? So that is the IaaS resource. PaaS is nothing but like you are getting something to code. For example, Data Factory is a PaaS service. Now, if you're getting everything pre-built, like directly a software, that is a SaaS solution, right? So you can just you just get a virtual machine, right? That is IaaS. PaaS is nothing but you're getting something to upload your code. SaaS is nothing but you are getting a pre-built software, that is a SaaS, right? So here software you handle application, data runtime, everything you handle. Platform you handle runtime, middleware, all of this, right? But this definition is much more easy to understand. Alright. Now let's try to understand how to get a subscription, okay? Anybody has any doubt till here, guys?
Abhishek, in ADF, can't we do a minimal transformations like parsing the data or
You can
anything
do that.
like that?
You can do
Hmm?
that.
We can
You
do
can
that.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the complex transformation, we go for the Databricks, right?
Yeah. In Databricks, you can do all the standard transformations such as I will show you. Give me a moment. All of this you can do. Join, conditional, split, exist, union, lookup, derived column, select, aggregate, surrogate key, pivot, unpivot, window, rank. All of this you can do. And ADF, suppose when you want to do extract, transform, and then load, you can use this where you are trying to extract data and transform it as well and then load it. And you can do standard transformation here. You don't need to write any code. You just need to drag and drop activity and then you can do the transformation. In the backend, it will be using a Spark framework itself for the transformation. But complex transformation you will be doing in Databricks or like your SQL stored procedure. Okay, so standard transformation like this you can do here.
Okay, means there is no user-defined transformation we can't do in ADF. We can do the predefined transformations,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Hi, Abhishek. Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Suppose we transform the data in the Databricks, right?
Mm.
Then we have to link it with the Synapse SQL server. So the whatever the transform data is stored in the Synapse SQL, right? Not on the blob storage.
It depends. So from Databricks, either you can write to Synapse directly, or you can also write here and then move. Both you can do.
Mm.
So over here, suppose over here, if you see, we are getting the data in CSV, JSON, XML using Databricks. We are writing to Delta table, which is again like stored in data lake, and then we are also writing to SQL Server. So either like after transformation, you can directly write here, or you can write here and then move. Both you can do.
Okay.
So suppose the transform data also you want to maintain the history of how the transformation is happening, or like so in those cases you write to SQL Server, sorry, your data lake and then move. So both you can do ideally. Okay. We will speak about it going forward, in which case we should do this or in which case we should do that, right? We'll speak about it. Okay, fine. Now let's try to understand how to get a subscription, okay? So first go to portal.azure.com. Probably you can bookmark it because you'll use it daily if you're practicing. Okay, before we come here, let's try to understand one more thing, okay? Okay, fine. Now, if I am coming to Microsoft, so now we are switching to a topic. We are trying to understand like how to get a subscription, okay? So now, and then this is the last topic, and then we will wrap it up, okay? So now, like Abhishek came to Microsoft and said that, hey, please register me in your company or please register myself, right? So Microsoft treats everybody as a company, okay? Microsoft doesn't treat Abhishek as user. Microsoft treats Abhishek that Abhishek has a company, for example, okay? So for Microsoft, Abhishek, always Microsoft create an intra ID, intra. So if I am coming to Microsoft, if I am creating my email ID in Microsoft, I will be getting an intra ID by default, right? No matter if I have a subscription or not, I will get intra ID. Okay. For example, if I come here and if I say that, hey, create one account, or like my email ID is like Abhishek Agrawal. So guys, I don't have any email ID which I haven't used because I used my email ID to work with Microsoft. So I don't have any new email ID, but the steps are simple. You come here, you sign up, okay? And once you sign up, you will like you just need to come to portal.azure.com and sign up yourself. Okay, that is what I'm explaining. You just sign up, and then once you sign up, like log in to portal.azure.com. Once you log in, this is the page you will see. Okay, but you'll not see like this. Rather than that, you'll see like this. I will show you how you'll see. Okay, so you will see like this. Okay, here you can see that they're asking me to get a subscription because I don't have a subscription right now. Okay, I don't have any subscription, but I do have an intra ID. Okay, this is my intra ID. Okay, this is my intra ID. So if you come to Microsoft and if you create like your email ID, you will get an intra ID by default assigned to you. Okay. Now, once I have an intra ID, the second job is to get a subscription. Okay. So suppose under this intra ID itself, you'll get a subscription. Under this intra ID itself, you'll get a subscription. So what I will do, I will come here, I will do start, I will do like try Azure for free. I will do code, send code or authenticate, add my credit card or like debit card and create my subscription. If you have already created in the past, use different email ID, different phone number, um, and then yeah, so different credit card, debit card. If you use everything different, it will work. Okay. But if you use same email ID, same phone number, it can catch. So just try to complete this process. Okay. So and then it is fairly straightforward. You'll get many videos in YouTube as well, how to get Azure subscription, right? I can send you some videos of myself as well, but it is fairly very easy step. If you're facing some problem, just ping me. Facing some problem, try incognito mode. Sometimes code is not coming or like bank details, it's not catching, right? I cannot do anything about it. And there is no like fancy way to solve this problem, right? You just like try and 99% of the time you will be able to solve it. If you're not able to solve it, just ping me. But it's like very simple. Okay, so you just need to follow this simple process of purchasing something, and you have purchased many things, I know that, so you can complete it. Okay, so just like click start and then click on try Azure for free, then add your credit card, add name details, purchase, right? Try with the credit card. But also one more thing, it won't be charging you directly after 1 month is expire. It's not like it will start debiting your money from your credit card directly. So billing will happen. So suppose if you don't pay after a month, it will disable your subscription, right? So but it will not directly charge you until unless you upgrade to pay as you go. So you don't need to worry. So after 1 month, it won't start charging you the money directly, right? And then like you are um, you can feel safe with respect to that. Okay, suppose after 1 month it will disable your subscription, but it will not directly charge you the money, right? And you can also set up some budget alert as well over here. You can set some budgets and all of that if you want to be extra cautious, but it will not happen. Nothing will happen. Okay. All right. So once you get a subscription, you will see something like this. I will show you how it will look. You will see something like this. Either Azure subscription 1 is written, will be written over here, or free subscription will be written over here. There can be two things written. Azure subscription 1 or free subscription can be also written over here, right? So you'll see either Azure subscription 1 or you'll see free subscription over here, okay? Now, once Abhishek go to Microsoft, go to Intra ID, get a subscription, then Abhishek can work in this particular subscription, right? Now, like I think it is easy, right? To what I said to do, right? You guys can try it out. But now suppose one more thing. Suppose Abhishek, like one more person wants to work with Abhishek. For example, like Ashish wants to work with Abhishek. Okay, so Ashish said that, hey Abhishek, I want to work with you. So now Ashish requested me that, hey Abhishek, can I work in your subscription? Okay, can I use your subscription? Okay. In that case, Ashish can use my subscription as well, because in company you will be also sharing the subscription, right? So now, how Ashish can work in my subscription? Or what we can also do is internally, suppose we have 18 people right now, right? So what we can also do is four people can share the subscription, so that you don't have a subscription for a month, but you rather than that you have a subscription for 4 months, because one person can create a subscription, all three can use that subscription, right, for 1 month, and then next month another person can create a subscription and all four of us can use their subscription, right? So this way you can share one month, and all of us can work together, right? If you are okay to do that, okay, that you can also you can do, because it's the credits which you got, like 200 credits, it's enough for 3 to 4 people to practice very easily, okay? So that also you can do. I will create a poll in the group, and then accordingly you guys can like contact each other and then work together, right? So how to share the subscription, that I will describe now. So suppose if Abhishek created a subscription and Ashish wants to work with Abhishek. So the first step is Ashish needs to be the part of Abhishek organization, so that, and what is organization? Ashish needs to part of Intra ID. Okay, so what I will do, I will go here. I will go to Intra ID. I will add Ashish as a user. Okay. One second. Okay. Can anybody tell like email ID? Ashish, can you tell your email ID? Let's I will invite you only. Prasad, you can share the screen as well, right? If I ask you to share.
Yes, sir. Right.
So suppose Prasad wants to be part of my subscription, right? So I invited Prasad. Now you Prasad, you'll see this kind of a email in your email box, which is, can you see something like this in your inbox?
Okay.
Did you get anything like this?
No.
Can you type Azure and then search, please?
Let me go. Yeah.
Did you get something like this? Default directory. Can you type default directory and search?
No.
Let me try again. Yeah. Can you show, please? Yeah, you can share the screen, please. Can you show me your email ID? Okay. Now can you type like default directory? Yeah, search it. Type Azure. Uh, Interesting. Let me try again. Can you search again now? Search in after 2 minutes. Yeah, wait for some time. Yeah, search now, please. As your default directory, type default directory. Interesting. Okay. 1 second. Can you type this and search, please? Copy paste this and search. Like I have given, yeah. Okay, I don't know why it's not coming. Can anybody else give their email ID, please? Who can share the screen?
Which he can log in directly from the Azure portal, right? Instead of searching in the mail. If you
No,
have granted the
no, no,
permission.
no,
He
no.
do that, maybe it might create an Android for you.
So first you need to that this guy needs to some like Prasad needs to um like accept, and then only like he can see my subscription. He can log in, like that's not a problem, but if he wants to work in under my subscription, he needs to like accept this invitation.
Okay.
Now Akash, can you check if you got this?
Sure, let me check. Sure. No, Abhishek, not yet as of now. Mm. Let me also search through the keyword.
Let me try with my email ID. 1 second. I will try this one in which I will type. Why this email is not coming? Hmm. Can you guys search this? Only the search this. Are you getting something or no?
No, Sheikh, though with this keyword, I'm getting like some of the previous my colleague have invited, but yeah, not for this session.
Okay. I'm also not getting, but I will tell you the process. Give me a moment. Probably it will come after some time, but I will tell you the process now. So suppose what we need to do, we need to basically accept this invitation. Suppose you get this invitation, right? And then if you don't get it, you will just look into it, but you will ideally get it. So you need to accept this invitation. Once you accept this invitation, then the user, like this user, right? Like Prasad is under my subscription, right? So Prasad added to my subscription. So Prasad Asis is added to my intra ID or Asis added to my intra ID, right? And Asis can work under my subscription now. So suppose previously in my intra ID, if I show you that I have all of these users, right? Like under my subscription, for example, like I have Akash, I have Prasad, I have all of these people like under my subscription, right? uh, then what they can do, they can Akash can log in. For example, like once they accept the invitation, Prasad can log in to the Azure account. Let me try one more time. Suppose if I invite an user, right? I will also try one more time if it works with my this email ID.
I would say if you invite uh, to this as well, like if I accept that, will it create enter ID for me?
No, it will not create an enter ID for you. If you don't register yourself, for example, like until unless you go and register yourself in Microsoft, it will not create an enter ID for you.
Okay. After maybe 1 month or after trial got expired, can I create a user with the same email ID?
Uh, Come again.
Mm.
Like, can you
Okay.
come?
If
You can
on
remove
ex-
and like you can just remove this. Like
okay, okay,
suppose, yeah, you can delete this and then you can try.
okay.
Uh, but like, yeah, so what I'm trying to explain is suppose I will just try to search here if it works. If it doesn't work, probably I don't know why it's not working. Ellipse. Okay, I don't know why it's not coming. But yeah, so suppose if like we invited and then those guys accept it, right? Then they need to log in. They need to basically log in, right, to portal.azure.com and then they can go to the intra ID and then they will see. So for example, here I am able to see that I am part of two intra ID, right? Suppose if you create your own intra ID, for example, Akash created his own intra ID, then he will see his own directory here and he will see also the directory of mine. Suppose Akash can go and subscribe, right? So he will see his own intra ID and he will also see my intra ID because he accepted the invitation. So what he needs to do now, he need to just select the intra ID and switch. Right over here, he will switch to my intra ID, and then he can go to my intra ID. And then what I need to do, I need to add Akash in my subscription. So I will go to the subscription and I will add Akash in my subscription. So I will add, you can add a role assignment here. And I can give some sort of a reader role, for example, right? And I can select Akash over here. So I can select Akash and I can assign. If I assign, then Akash can be the part of my subscription. So first Akash will be part of my intra ID, and then Akash will be the part of my subscription, and then he can work in my subscription as well. Okay. Guys, you can try it out. If it is not working, we can try again. And I don't know why email is not coming.
You
Otherwise, I
should
would have
just
shown you.
make sure one thing, if you have selected the checkbox, send invite message or just like things.
Yeah, let me try that. Give me a moment if I am doing that mistake.
Yeah, it's checked. Yeah.
I don't know, guys, but this kind of invitation will come. You accept, then you log into portal.azure.com, right? You log into portal.azure.com, you go to intra ID, and then you switch. Yeah, switch to the intra ID which you want to work with. For example, you haven't created your own intra ID, then you will see only this. Then somebody who is the owner of that intra who has created a subscription, that guy needs to also add you to the subscription so that the process is completed. Okay. If you're not able to do this, we can try it out in the next class as well. Anybody has any doubt on this, guys?
Yes, Abhishek, I have one doubt. The intra ID is assigned to the user based upon his email ID, right?
Yeah,
And the intra ID is unique, or we can create multiple intra IDs using the same email ID.
you can create multiple intra ID. Suppose Abhishek says that I have my own intra ID, but I opened one organization, but I want to open 10 organization. So you can do that using the same email ID. So you can create multiple tenant, and tenant is nothing but an organization. So you can create a multiple tenant over here. So I can create using my email ID. You can create 10 tenants that you can do.
Okay. I have seen the subscription ID also in the UI. What is the difference between them, intra ID and subscription ID?
So first you part of organization, then you purchase a subscription. So like suppose if I open an organization, it can be the case that I don't have a subscription. So under one tenant, you can have multiple subscriptions. So for example, like I do have this intra ID, right? I can create multiple. Abhishek can create multiple intra ID. And Abhishek under one intra ID, Abhishek can have multiple subscription. For example, like let me draw it. So Abhishek can have multiple intra ID. He can have multiple email ID. Sorry, multiple intra ID. Because Abhishek can open multiple organization. And intra ID is nothing but organization. And under one intra ID, under one organization, Abhishek can also say that I will have I have multiple subscription under the same intra ID. That can also happen. Suppose Abhishek says that, hey, for development environment, I want to create one subscription. For test environment, I want to create another subscription. For prod environment, I want to create another subscription so that I want to do different billing of different environment. So Abhishek can have multiple intra ID, and under one intra ID, Abhishek can have multiple subscription. Okay. Is it clear for you?
Yes, it's clear now. Thank you.
All right, guys. Anybody has any doubt? But is it my job to do intra ID creation, assign user, assign subscription, take care of subscription, all of that? No. Why we are learning this? Because we need to basically work together. We need to deploy resources. That is why we are creating subscription and also to share the subscription. I'm telling you about this. All right, guys.
Abhishek, enter ID and tenant ID.
One by one, please.
So what's the difference between enter ID and the tenant ID? Like, are they the same or like how they are related? So I'm confused.
It is same only. It is same.
Okay, so tenant ID would be remain one for one registration, and it will be at the organization level.
Yeah. Yes.
Abhishek, are we going to cover like is it 104 post here like or like
No,
any
no,
like
no,
some
no. No, no, no. I will not cover. I will not teach you AZ 104 because this is Azure admin. We are not learning Azure admin.
things related to like configurations?
Yeah, this is related because I want to teach you guys how to share the subscription only. So that if somebody is working together, they can probably work together. All right, guys. So now we will conclude here. Tomorrow we might not have the class because tomorrow I need to go to the office in the morning because of some sort of a presentation. So I will update you in the group accordingly in the evening because I will get a confirmation in the evening. Then we will meet on Monday. Okay. And if we are having a class tomorrow, we'll meet tomorrow. I will update accordingly in the group. Okay. Thank you so much for joining the class. Please create
And
a
can we
subscription.
have recordings available?
Yeah, I will send you the recording as well today only.
And can you share the rough notes also?
Yeah, I will share. Okay,
Thanks,
guys.
Abhishek.
Thank you so much for connecting. See you then on Monday, or else like if you're having a class tomorrow, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, Abhishek.